Hello my friends and welcome. I hope you're doing fine. And today we will have a look at next exercise of Exercism. It's called word count. Let's dive into it. So here in our track we have word count, and one thing I didn't tell you until now is you have here these small things. It's called, let me make it brighter. Okay, it's called list, map, and regular expression, loops, and so on. So in here, So in here you can see what Exercism recommend you to use when you do this exercise. So you can use loop, you can use regular expression, you can use map, and you can use a list here. Okay, so let's check what the exercise is. And we go here and just start to read the introduction. So it says, given a phrase, count the occurrences of each word in that phrase. Okay, so we will get a phrase or a sentence, and in there are some words, and we need to count the words and how often they occur there. Okay, so you might now say, okay, what is a word? So how they define a word. So a word is defined here by, it should be a number, so it should be 0 or multiply digits, or it's a simple word, for example, one letter, A, or for example, they, or it's a contraction of two simple words joined by a single apostrophe. So you have two simple words that are joined together with an apostrophe. For example, it's, so you have it is, it's, or they are, they are. Okay, so you have these three rules, which you can now say, okay, these are words. Okay, so the first one is just digits, and then you have letters, combination, you have to have a word, or you have two simple words that are joined together. Okay, so what are the rules to check for these words? Let's see. They say the count is case insensitive. So if you have you, like this one, you have a capital letter Y, and you, nothing capitalized, or you, everything capitalized, all of these are one words. So you have you, one word, and you say it appears 3 times in that sentence. Okay. The next one says count is unordered. So the test will ignore how words and counts are ordered. So basically, if you have the red fox jumps over the fence or something like that. So if you have all the letters, it doesn't matter in which order. So you have the red fence jumps fox, so it doesn't matter. So if you say fox is 1 time, red is 1 time, this 2 times, and it doesn't matter how you order it. And so for the test, our test file, it doesn't it doesn't care. Okay, so number 3 is other than the apostrophe in a contraction, all forms of punctuation are ignored. Okay, so if you have a dot, if you have a comma, if you have a double apostrophe, if you have exclamation mark, question mark, stuff like that, this all will be ignored. Okay, except if you have an like it says here, if you have an apostrophe that combines 2 simple words. Okay, so if you have it, apostrophe, s, so this is a word, so this you have to take care of. Other than that, ignore even simple apostrophes. Okay, so the word can be separated by any form of white space. So basically, you have these /t/n or this white space, so you can separate the words as you like. So we will use the white space because this is the easiest one, and everything else should be ignored. So if you have something like this /n in your sentence or in the phrase, so you need to ignore it. So you need to say, okay, get rid of that. Okay, we'll have a look to the at the example that they provide, and I think it will be clearer somehow. Okay, so this is the example. They say, for example, for the phrase, that's the password. Password 123, cried the special agent. So I fled. Okay, so we have here that's one word. The password, and you ignore this double dots. You ignore this first apostrophe because we don't have a simple word before it and not simple word after it, like that's, like this example. So we ignore this one. Password is a new word. 123 is a new word. So the apostrophe we ignore. Exclamation mark we ignore. This double apostrophes we ignore. Comma we ignore. Cried the special agents are words. Dot we ignore. /n we ignore. So I fled. And dot we ignore. So if you don't know what the /n does, so if you have a string like this, this whole string, if you have it in a print statement, so what this /n basically will do, it will put it in a new line. So you will have, that's the password, cried the special agent. Until here, it's one line, and then it makes a line break, and then it says, so I fled. So that's basically what it does. Okay, so and here is how it should look like when you do the exercise. And yeah, so we have that. It's 1. The is 2 times. So because if you see here, that's 1 and that's 2. Password, you have also twice. So you have this and this. So it's case insensitive. So we will convert everything into lowercase, and then we go through it, so it will be easier. Okay, cool. I hope you have a good idea how to how this exercise, what the way of thinking, and now how we solve it. And I recommend to do stuff like this. So this is what I did before I start to solve this exercise. I basically write everything down. So by writing everything down, you will learn. You will keep a lot of stuff in your head, and by writing, you will get new ideas, better ideas. Because if you type it or whatever, if you do it digitally, it's not not great, in my opinion. So try to do stuff like this. So I have like the words, the rules, the example, and how it should look like. And then at the end, I wrote some to-dos. What can I do? And yeah, so try it out. I think it's a good thing. Okay, so let's dive into it. Cool. So the first thing we will do is copy this and open our terminal, paste it in there. And okay, so that's we will copy this, say cd to this area. Okay, so this is our files, and I'll open the files. First word count.dart file, and then the test file. Okay, so in here you see it's just an empty class. So this is what is called word count, and in our a test file. You have all of these test cases, and let's see how our method is called and what it needs. Okay, so we see here it creates an object. This is the variable. So we go down here. So this is our method name. So I'll copy this. And what is the return? The return should be a map. Key should be a string, and the value should be integer. Okay, and it expects a string. All right, so let's do all of that. Let's remove this and then say map. Whoa. So let me do this. I think it's better. So it's map, and it was string. The key, the value is int, and that's the name, and it expects a string of how did I call it? String of s. All right. Cool. So that's our method. We will copy all of this and go here and call dart path.dev. Probably I have the, so I'll get rid of this because I tried something before. Okay, so this is how a fresh dart .path looks like. So we paste our word count here. Okay, it says, it expects a return type, but you are not giving any return. So this is why it's, this error is coming. Okay, so let's do that first. Okay, so we will define a variable of type map. So the key is string and the value is integer, and we will call this res for result. Yeah, let's call it result. I think it's better. And we will initialize it at the beginning with only map. Okay, so that's the thing. And you can now return it actually. Return result. That should get rid of all of this. Okay, cool. So now what we need to do to write here a test case. Okay, so basically what we will do, we will take what we have here and just copy paste it there. Okay, so we have this line, we'll copy paste it here, and then we have this line where it's defined, and we'll paste here, and at the end we say return print result. Okay, cool. And you need to spell print correctly. Print like this. Okay, so what we basically will do, we defined an object, and then we have a variable, and the variable is used here to call our method, so count words, and we give it a string, and at the end we will get a map of string and integer, and then we print that out. Okay, so what we will do here as well is to have it's here, just to take this example and copy all of that and paste it in here like that. Okay, so we have some problems here. So we have the problem of this double apostrophes, because it starts here and ends here. So Dart thinks your string starts here and ends here. Okay, so what I will do is to get rid of this one and put it in here. So you are getting rid of the double apostrophe anyways. So we will do that. We will put it in regular expression. So we get rid of that. So don't worry. So if there's anywhere double apostrophes like this, it will get rid of it. Okay. So to make everything easier, to make our lives easier, I will do it like this. All right. Cool. So this is our test case. If we run it, nothing will happen probably. And yeah, so it's an empty map. Cool. And now we need to think what we need to do. So first of all, we said we will use regular expressions. And here, I will link a video I did, a couple of weeks ago about regular expressions. Have a look at that. So you get a basic understanding of regular expressions, and then come back and watch the video until the end, because it's important to know what regular expressions are and what they do. So we will use it here. I'll explain briefly what I'm using, but if you need deeper understanding, so you need to watch that video. Okay, so we need a regular expression, and we will put it up here. We say regexp. Okay, this is the regular expression, and then we say regexp, and we say regexp, and now we need to put our regular expression in there. So what we will use is a row string. So a row string, why we need a row string here? Because we have something like /n here. So /n, if you don't have a row string, it will say, okay, this is a new line. So this is a command for a new line. So it will ignore it, and you will have a new line. So, but we don't need to ignore it. We need to remove it. So we say row string, and row string will say, okay, this is just a /n, so whatever. Okay, so this is why we need that. Okay, and now we will put our regular expression in there. So what did we say until now? What are words? We say words are digits, for example. So we have, how can we say, show me a digit? By doing basically this. So this /d, it says this is a digit. The plus sign, it says this occurs one or multiple times. Okay. So we say we have a digit, maybe 0, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. By all of that, take it. Okay. Cool. And now we need to see, okay, we said a word can be this or another something else. So we use or, and it's done by like this. And now we say, okay, what is a word? We said a word is, if we go back in here, okay, a simple word contains of one or more letters. So you have a, or for example, they. Okay, so how can we do that? We say we have from A to Z. So you see that I'm using small letters because we will convert everything into small letters. So that will make our lives easier. So we don't need to say and also A to Z, the capital letters. So we do that. And this occurs one or multiple times. Like the /d here with the plus sign, we say one or more. This one, it says also one or more. Okay. Cool. So now we have our digits, we have our words. And what do we need else? So we need now this part. So this part, it says, okay, it's two simple words. The first, and they are joined together with an apostrophe. Okay. So we are already we're already checking now for a single word. So we can say now after that, it can be an apostrophe with a simple word after it or not. So how can we do that? We put everything in brackets and we say this question mark. And the question mark says this appears either 0 or 1 time. So, and this is actually what we need when we go back here. So it can be it, but it can also be its. So with the apostrophe and s, okay? So this appears 0 or 1 time. So this is what we're doing here. And inside there, it's basically we say we have an apostrophe. And after the apostrophe, we have a, so we have a letter from A to Z, and this occurs 1 or multiple times. Okay? Cool. So basically that's our regular expression. Easy, right? Cool. So what can we do with all of this? Okay, first of all, okay, so what we can do is, after this map, we can now say we have our regular expression dot, and we need all matches. Okay, as I said, if you didn't watch the video of regular expression, just watch it and come back again, so you will understand what I'm using. So basically, it's a method that calls all the matches that it gets. Yeah. So it says here matches this pattern that I gave it, the regular expression pattern, against the string repeatedly. So again and again, and it creates a list of all the matches. Okay, so now what we are doing is just to check if everything is working correctly. So I will use a map here. So I'll say, okay, in here is our S, so our string. Okay, so we have the regular expression, all matches in string. And after that, it gives us this list, and we need to go through the list and take everything out. So we learned something about map, so we use that. Okay. And in here we say, yeah, basically print everything. So you have x dot group, and we need the group 0. As I said, watch the video, and you know what this all means. And then dot to lowercase, we can put it or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we will go through all the matches that this regular expression found and print it. Okay, so let's see what happens. If I click run here, it says nothing. All right, so we have a problem. Wait a second. That's my fault. Sorry. So the print statement, it should be outside, not inside. Okay. So you need to go through regular expression, through the list, and then to print it out. So let's see what happens. Cool. So we have hats. The password 123 cried the special gent o fled. So what's the problem? Let's go back and see. Oh no, let's see here. So that's the capital letters are missing. Okay, why is that? Okay, so if you go here to regular expression, there's a parameter called case sensitive, and we need to turn that to false. It's always on true, so it checks for case sensitivity, but now we don't need it. We say, okay, it should be case. So as you see, that's the password, create the special agent, so I fled. So you have the twice, password twice. Okay, so it's somehow working, okay? And now we take all of this and do basically what we need to do. Cool, so now we wanted to check if it's working. So it's working. I'll comment that out and start here again. So we say we have a regexp dot all matches and we give it our string. And now we go through the list. So as I said, we can use map, but we need to learn new stuff. So we will use forEach, okay? Each, cool. So forEach is basically a for loop. So if you're familiar with for loop, usually you do it like for, so int e is 0, and then from e to whatever, and then plus plus. So this is how you do a for loop. And forEach is basically a simpler variant of that, and you can use it, for stuff like this, what we're using. So forEach is basically goes through the list and then does whatever we needed to do out of that. Okay. So we say m for matches, or x, whatever. You can say whatever you like here. Okay, so we have that, and now we need to put everything that we are finding in the result map. Okay, and for that there's a method called update. So let's do that. Result.update. Okay, so we have an update here. So let me paste it in. So update. It says updates the value of the provided key. So if you have the if you have the key, so you can make a function on that key and then give it the value. Okay. So and says returns the new value associated with the key. Cool. If the key is present, invoke updates with the current value and store the new value in the map. So this is what we need to do. So we update the value and then put it in the key. So what happens if we don't have that? If the key is not present, and IfAbsent is provided, calls IfAbsent and adds the key with the return value of the map. So basically, we can say, okay, if we found a word, for example, that, okay. And if we found that, okay, we have the key, cool. So this function will work. But if we don't find it, we can say, okay, this occurs one time. So we give it only the value 1, okay? And if that comes again, we can update it with 1 plus 1. So we add 1 to it, so we have 2 now, okay? Let's do it here together, so it will be easier. I'll make a breakpoint here. Okay, hopefully this is easier to see. Cool, so now we have our update, and then in here we say m dot, basically the group, name, the group that we need. Yeah, this one. So we need group 0. It's basically always group 0 that you need. And then we say dot to lowercase, of course. So we need to get rid of the capital letters. And after that, we say comma. So now in update, it says we need a function, okay, to update the key. So our function will be so we will take the iteration, and then we will say please, this is how you say please, with an arrow. So e plus 1. So we add whatever the value is at the moment. For example, if it's 0, we say add 1 to it. If it's 1, add 1 to it, because we found, for example, as here, we found for the first time, it will add 1. If we found again, it will add 1 to it, so we have 2 now. Okay? Yeah, I'll make a line break here as well. Cool. And then we said there's a parameter, it's called IfAbsent. So if the key is not found, or it's a new key, for example, I or flat, it's a new key, so it didn't appear here somewhere, so it's the first time, we just give it, we say, okay, you need to be 1 as a value. Okay? And I'll make a line break. It's terrible, but basically that's all you need to do. So I hope it's understandable. Let's run and see if we're getting something. Okay, cool. So we get that 1, 2, password 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, create 1, special 1, agent 1. So it looks correct. So we have twice, password twice. Let's go here back and see twice, password twice, everything else is 1 time. Cool. So basically this is how you solve this exercise. So what did we do today? So we, let me go through my notes here. Cool. So we learned today about regular expressions. And as I said, watch the video that I did about regular expressions. And we applied it here to pick up the words that we need. Then we saw forEach and looped through the list, and then applied update to update the value of the, not the key, the value, update the value of the value and put it in the key. And if the key is not there, we used IfAbsent to say, okay, the value is now 1. Okay, so basically this is how you solve word count. I know there's multiple answers to this exercise. It's always like that. So you will never have one final best solution. There's always multiple solutions, but this is one of them. And I found it nice and easy. So I hope you learned something today. And if so, show me please with a like and with an abo to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Steve out. Ciao.